Hi, I'm Ren Dunning. I am taking computer science and software engineering as a career and technical class at Gull Lake High School, and today I'm going to show you a little project I did with a classmate about flying Tello drones. So what we did is we just coded a little bit about just basic functions that the Tello user guide provided with us about different functions that makes it go up, forward, or down, or left and right, or to make it turn a curve and things like that. And our project was to have it fly through a set of 4 different hula hoops, a hula hoop course that includes one curve and then just up and down through other hoops. So I'm going to show you some videos I took today from that, and I'm going to show you my code alongside that. So as I described, this was completely coded with Python and no remote controller was used with the drone. Our code started with takeoff, which makes the drone just like it said, take off. It goes up a little bit. And then each of these number measurements are in centimeters. So up 60 would be up 60 centimeters, 4 would be 400 and 250 centimeters and on. This go 155.05360, this represents the x, the y, and the z coordinates, and then this is the speed at the end. And the curve, this one's pretty confusing. Me and Jojo couldn't quite figure it out, so we had to just trial and error with the numbers a lot. Oops, my screen's falling asleep here. So we just had a bunch of trial and error with these numbers to just see what worked. But in the user guide, it describes these as x1, y1, z1, and then x2, y2, z2, and then speed. So, well, whatever, we figured it out. And so then we have forward 70, and then another go command, and then a land. And then after you land it, it says great flight, or if you stop the operation while it's mid-code, then it's gonna send an emergency signal and the drone will land. So we did meet like a huge difficulty with this project because the hardware on the drones is absolutely not ideal, and we wouldn't even change the code and it would behave differently every time. So it was very hard to trial and error with our code to see what would work because of the different variables. We didn't know what was an issue because of our code or an issue because of the hardware of the drone. And 99% of the time it was an issue with the drone because it just didn't behave as we coded it. So I'm going to show you a couple of examples of, just the crazy things it would do that wasn't going along with our code, and then I'm going to show you a couple successful videos of us getting through the obstacle course. So first off here, it's doing the takeoff. And then the up 60 is right here. And it's going to do the forward 250 into the first hoop 215, excuse me. So it's completed that. And now we have the go 155.053 command, and that basically makes it ascend upwards and forward at the same time in one function. So there, it hits the second hoop, which had nothing to do with our code because when we started the drone, it was centered with the hula hoops. And then while it was waiting to perform its second command right here at this hoop, it hovers for a little bit, and because it's hovering in midair and just pausing, it's floating itself to the right, and then it just hits the second hoop. So that's one example. This one just straight up didn't follow the code. It did the takeoff, it did the up 60, and it did the forward, but it didn't do the go, so it just goes straight under the second hoop, and it didn't rise to the level of the second hoop, so it just went straight under, which, again, as you can see in our code, that's not part of our plan. This is another example of how it was so unpredictable. Takeoff, then it should do the up 60 here. Oh, yeah, that's what it didn't do. It didn't do the up 60, and then it gets to the hula hoop. So it skipped the up 60 command. It seemed to move forward with the forward 215 command, but then drops out of nowhere. And it wasn't a battery issue at that point. Our battery was okay right then. So we have no idea why it did that, but yeah, didn't follow the up 60 command, went through with the forward 215, and then as you see, just drops itself right before the first hoop. All right. Another example, and then I'll show you some actually good examples of our project after I show you our trial and error with the hardware of the drone. So it did the up 60 there. It's going to do the forward 215. But then for some reason it just hovers there and it doesn't perform the ascent to meet the second hoop. and it just hovers there, and then it it goes up more, and it hits the top of the first hoop. So we have no idea, again, no idea why it did that, because that didn't follow anything we put in our code. So it was acting out on that one. And one last example of it messing up, just to show how janky these are. So it did the up 60, and it goes to the first hoop with the forward 215, and then it just lands itself out of nowhere. All right, so enough of the bad examples. Let's show some good examples. So here I think we have the correct code running this time, like it actually performed as it should. Take off, and then it should do the up 60 here. Oh, it already did the up 60. I think that was my bad. Let me restart it and we can watch it do that. Yeah, I filmed it while it was doing the up 60. So there was the up 60 right before I started filming. It's going to perform the forward 215 to go through the straight through the first hoop. And then it's going to do that go command with the X, Y, and Z coordinates to make it ascend from the first hoop to the second hoop in one command. Make it go forward and up at the same time. And there's also a lot of wait time in between each command, unfortunately, because we can't send each command to its tiny little brain at the same time. So it's only sending an individual command at a time. So you saw there it didn't make it through the second hoop, but I still kept this video because we were able to complete a good curve on that one. So it didn't make it through the blue hoop on that one, and it did hit the second hoop, but that was just to show development of how that was our own issue. That wasn't a drone issue. That was just we had to adjust our measurements. Gotta log back in here. Alright. Yeah, so that was just our numbers not quite right yet, but that's okay, because it was all about experimenting with which dimensions and centimeters we needed. So that was a curve that didn't quite make it through the second or the third hoop, and then I believe this one does make it through the second and possibly the third hoop. So I think this is the most successful video we have. It has the takeoff and then the up 60. There's the up 60 right there, as you can see in my code over here. Then we're going to have the forward 215. It starts its descent. And this is where it starts its curve. And I believe it does make it through the blue hoop, I think. Yeah, we were so happy. Oh no, it stopped right before, because that was actually successful, but we hadn't coded anything past the curve yet. So that was our first completely successful run without any hardware issues. So it landed there because it was done with its code, so that's all we had coded. But as you can see, if we had a forward command after there, we have the forward 70 there now. But back when we took this video, we had only done the curve, like we had only made it up to the curve. So that's why it landed, is because its next command was to land, and we didn't have that forward command yet. So that was a successful run. We just hadn't finished the code yet. So this is the final video, I think. I think this one does make it straight through the third hoop. Unfortunately, we ran out of time, and we weren't able to make it through the fourth hoop. But we got so freaking close. We got so close. So like I said, as the usual, up 60, forward 215. It does its ascent to the second hoop. It's going to take that curve again after it does its little hovering wait. And then it's going to do the forward 70. And, okay, it went straight through. I'm going to pause it right here, and I'm going to explain what happens next. We have another go command like we do up here. We fussed around with this one a little bit too. It's kind of like, it was kind of like an opposite image of this one, since the first two hoops are ascending and the last two hoops are descending. We kind of just used the same command and messed with the numbers a little bit and saw if that would work for us. But it was working. We got it so close, but for some reason it kept veering to the right, as you'll see in this video, I think, or to the left. Yeah, it would just veer to the left, to the right, but we got so freaking close. So that is how much we got finished. So yeah, thank you for watching my video, and I'll be back with more computer science related videos soon. Thank you for watching. I'm back so soon. I forgot to show you guys one thing. This is my GitHub pushed up to the cloud, and I wanted to show you that I also have the code in my GitKraken also linked with my GitHub. And I have my main branch here with my user guide and my template and my curve picture. But then in my square branch, I have, I didn't go over this in the video, but this is just performing a square to get used to the commands of the drone. So the drone just flies in a little square. Then this is the competition branch. This is the one that I was showing you out of. And here you can see, this is my code. This is all up on the cloud, and these are the commands I was showing you in the video. And yeah, now it's the real end of the video. Alright, thank you for watching.